Elk and Hung have been successful specifically against top esports. Now the Ezreal Bard removed, the Varus, again, generically powerful laner, also removed, and I'm going to check that while you take me through the rest of this. Hold on.
Yeah, again, bot lane priority. When you talked about the Ashe Seraphine, it's going to be off the board here with the Seraphine getting banned. Not really a ton of point in taking the Ashe Karma as well, going to be taken away. There is a lot of stuff off the board on the bot side, but that means a lot of stuff is up elsewhere. Ryze, notably in the mid lane, Rumble is available. We were talking about top lane priority. Even have things like Vi and Xin Zhao and even Nocturne if you want to go in that direction. So plenty of power picks left up on the map here. It's definitely going to be a little bit more interesting down on the bottom side. I could definitely see something like a Lucian Milio potentially coming through here, but it's just going to be the trade of mid laners right now and an early jungle pick with the macro presence coming in from Weibo.
Yeah, I mean, so this is interesting because the Annie pick for Creme also functions as a sort of third ban. That was something that Xiaohu played the last time these two teams engaged with each other. And Rumble, I will say, is the one blindable top laner for his way on. So if we want to hit this, I actually think it's a pretty good idea.
I agree. I think Rumble makes a lot of sense here. Love the Ryze Pantheon start. I think obviously getting that macro presence is important, but it's already a good start for top esports as well. I really like Annie into Ryze. I think it's one of the more consistent answers outside of the Anivia if you just don't want to, full commit to something like that. Because of the lack of range on Ryze, you can really punish a lot of his team fight positioning, and as long as you're able to get out on the map and not let the Realm Warps beat you, you actually have a lot of ways to fight back. Like I said, a lot of chaotic junglers still up. Vi, Xin Zhao, Nocturne, really depending on what they want to go. Neither of these sides are going to be lacking in power, and it's going to be that Vi lock-in. The mid game is already looking like it's going to be the most important for both of these teams.
Yeah, I was watching that decision happen in real time and thinking, yeah, Vi seems a little bit better. Vi brings you some lockdown, and speaking of lockdown, Zika has entered the chat with Ambessa. An important denial from Zueon, who blew my flippin' mind on this champion the last time I saw him play it. So, essentially, another ban thrown out there for the future, but also going to be really good for Zika, who, when we talk about Rumble being blinded, you've got an answer.
This is definitely a confidence pick for Zika. He's had a lot of pop-off performances on this champion. I get a little concerned as to the direction that this Ambessa is going to go in, because you want to play strong side towards Ambessa usually, which means that I'm expecting Ryze Pantheon to use those macro ultimates onto the top side, but Vi is really good at being able to stop Ambessa from full committing in a lot of situations, and you're also leaving your entire bot lane for this second rotation with so many things already taken away. Varus is off the board, Karma is off the board, Ezreal is off the board, Ashe Seraphine's not available, you have Lucian Milio that's now not available, Caitlyn, Jhin. I mean, we are so far down on the AD carry priority list at this point that it's going to become a real challenge for either of these teams to find a consistent bot lane. Notably, Corki Nami untouched so far in the pick ban phase. Outside of that, Sivir could be an option, Kai'Sa could be an option, but that's full committing to dive. You are really going to have to, scratch something in game number one that you might have not thought that you were going to have to hit.
Here, Weibo, to be real with you, which is not necessarily to be good to you or kind to you, but to be real with you. Never been a better time to think about a Ziggs bot lane. I actually really do not mind that idea at all right now. Being able to play at range, it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, but there's a lot of AD carries gone. Sivir also a potential for both teams, something we should remember.
Yeah, Corki Nami seems like the standout pick, but as we noted, it's not really been that successful for either of these teams. It's definitely been more successful for Weibo. Elk is a great Corki player. He's shown that in previous years as well, so not surprised to see that lock in. It's almost certainly just going to be the Nami as the final pick here for Hong. We'll see what the bot lane answer wants to be for JiaQi 11 Fengyue. Do they want to full commit onto this dive with Vi and Annie by going something like Kai'Sa? Misfortune Nautilus could be on the table as a duo as well. I think it's almost certainly going to be one of those. I would be really surprised if they went in a different direction, but we'll see how they want to play it.
You can also deny Nami here if you want. I mean, I know that it's not going to be Corki Nami, but you can take away power from Corki by denying Nami, and it would work. Nautilus seems to be the hover, though, so I guess we're not looking to get too spicy with it. And this essentially makes it so that we, in theory, know what Weibo's fifth pick will be. Given the top esports are not really thinking about Nami, we're going Nami for Weibo, and we can start thinking about compositions, because if it's not Nami, I'm going to scream in an excited way, but it's going to be Scream.
It certainly would be surprising. I think it's possible to pick something like Nico or Bard in this case if you wanted to be more of a playmaker. It's certainly not out of, the realm of possibility to have something like that rather than, just your standard lane-oriented threat, especially because you're probably feeling more comfortable going into something like Nautilus in the laning phase. And it's actually going to be that Alistar, so get ready to scream, Dia, because you do have a little bit of a different pick here.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty exciting, to be honest, and works exactly as you mentioned, as this sort of, well, we've already got a pretty decent lane phase going on. Let's plan a little bit more for the team fights. Let's bring a little bit more frontline to this, a little bit more disruption that not only enables Elk, but I think importantly is going to make Xiaohu and Jiejie so much more comfortable. Even Zika gets more free time now that you've got Alistar. So it might not be what I expected, but I'm very happy to see Alistar locked in here.
What I really think is important to point out for both of these teams is just how strong they are at those level 6 power spikes. The mid game is going to be super important for both of them. Early game can kind of go back and forth. Corki Alistar is going to feel perfectly fine into this laning phase. That's why you can get away with more of an engaged support here. But once that map opens up, it's either the Realm Warp and the Pantheon that are going to be able to take things over, or it's going to be the Vi that's creating every single play. Junglers are going to be so essential to both of these teams' comps. Wherever more action happens, that's likely going to be, where the game ends up won or lost. And so a lot of pressure on the middle of the map here, and I wouldn't have it any other way with how Xiaohu and Creme played in the previous series.
I know we've talked a lot about Tien recently, and I mean recently on the LPL in general. Tien has been a really big focus. It is going to realistically be that way again in the early stages of this game, specifically because of what you just mentioned. Having access to things like the matchup that they do Vi into Pantheon does let Tien get a little bit more aggressive, get a little bit more active in the early stages of this game, something we should really look out for when you're talking about pivotal jungle matchups.
Little skirmish here on the bot side as we get some Jaios coming in. Certainly, one team a little bit more favored than the other right now, but as we know from fan support in previous series, anything can change depending on what happens in game number 1. Really like pointing out the volatility of these two comps. I think it really doesn't take much to swing the game in one direction or the other. Any Vi setup onto a bullet time with an equalizer, that can be really, really scary, and I think you're definitely looking at this top esports comp and seeing the wombo combo potential of their engage down the stretch. Gotta make sure you don't make those mistakes early, though.
I mean, that goes both ways, too, right? Like, where you have incredible playmaking potential, it's not just in the early game. You also have incredible comeback potential with these cooldowns that you can pile one on top of the other, the ways that you can play for pick or for skirmishes level 2 sit in the bot side just in time for everyone to avoid us having a knockdown, a drag-out fight. And I will note, we've got Tien spotted up topside. Nice hook from Fengyue, though.
Yeah. Gonna get a little bit of damage down onto Elk. I think push in this lane is almost always going to naturally bounce back in the favor of Weibo after a couple of levels. Misfortune is just so difficult to deal with early on. Alistar can't really do much in this matchup for now, so it'll just be that standard trade of summoner spells, and for now, at least, top esports are coming out on top because of it.
Fengyue literally does not miss with these hooks, by the way. That has been kind of crazy to watch in the first couple of minutes. Every couple seconds, he's landing one of them. Well, Xiaohu does take a beating in the mid lane. This is sort of how the Annie-Ryze matchup has been going recently, and Annie's got pretty incredible range early on. Nonetheless, Ryze still very powerful when we reach even the mid stages of this game, although his power budgeted a little bit differently than Annie's when it comes to the mid and late game.
Definitely a different kind of champ. Oh,
Creme! He levels up! I'm crying. I'm weeping.
Oh,
he flashes forward. Creme, is he going to die? Jiejie! He's got flash of his own and did get the speed up off the shield, but he doesn't know that Tien has shown up here. Oh my god, my heart! This can't be good for me. That's why I gotta take the cosplayer gig, man. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, it's definitely a chaotic mid lane going on right now. Both flashes are now burned, and that, if I'm a jungler, my eyes are lighting up towards the middle of the map now. I'm Pantheon, I'm Vi, I have all these engage tools once I hit level 6. I absolutely believe that that's going to be the focal point, but for now it's Zweon who could be the target on the top side with the shove in.
Going to be shown on ward early on. I do wonder what Zweon can do about it. Keep in mind, Tien's on the way, so while Zweon buys time, got a lot of burst in the form of Vi coming up. Zweon's going to eat a lot of damage first, but tanks a lot of it with the shield as Tien shows up and actually reverses things, claiming first blood. Might be a second as well. Jiejie burning down, and Tien collecting yet another kill. Gets 1 assist, 1 kill for both. Zweon played that perfectly.
Absolutely nightmarish for Weibo Gaming on that play. Not what you want to see at all. This Vi ends up really turning the tide, and those are the kinds of mistakes you can't really be making at this point in the game. This feels like a free gank, but you just don't have the damage here with the Mbessa early on. The Rumble is going to be able to do so much so passively, and Zika was already chunked from, you know, the laning phase, from trying to freeze this wave to set up for the gank in the first place. Tien being able to show, which you know he has to be on the top side because of just naturally the way that these junglers are going to path. That's just a massive mistake from Weibo, and they get punished really heavily, now down almost 2,000 gold at 5 minutes.
Whoever it was that designed alcoves just cried a few tears of joy watching how it was used for that outplay. I mean, the ability to delay and the timing, not just from Zweon, who we already mentioned, did a really good job to stall this out, let his jungler show up a little bit later, but Tien to back off in the bot lane after pulling off that like weird pseudo safety gank mid lane. Fengyue doesn't miss.
Ooh, Tien could be looking here.
It's on the right timing. This is not spotted. Tien's just too good, man. He's too good. 5 minutes into the game, 100% on 3 KP, and a dragon started up as well. Tien, much like Fengyue, just doesn't miss.
That's the MVP favorite for you. That's why Top Esports has been so successful at the start of this year, is just how consistently they're able to make plays. Stacking those dragons is really important as well. We talk about the wombo combo potential of the ultimates here in the mid to late game for Top Esports. What allows them to be able to combo those ultimates? Well, maybe a dragon fight that forces everybody into these confined river areas. Unfortunately, we do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully this is not going to be an extended one. But, you know, if I'm Weibo, I need some time to regroup. It has been a bit of a miserable early game for them, basically across the map.
So you did talk about in the pregame how Weibo, their early games have actually been their source of strength. Top Esports has been similar. And now I will say, you didn't just say early game. You said like early and mid game, around like the 15-minute mark as well. Still pretty good for Weibo. And you also mentioned the wombo combos that we've got on both of these teams, the ability to come back and make plays at any point in the game. How far is too far, right? We've seen Top Esports get off to a pretty good lead. I don't think that Weibo are locked out of this game by any means. I think we've got plenty more League of Legends left to play. How far is too far? What's the line? How much can Weibo afford to lose?
Really, I hate to narrow it down to one singular thing so much, but
No, do it.
the thing that will make or break their entire game is what they do with those first Pantheon Rise ultimates. If they are able to get something good with those big macro ultimates in a side lane, if they're able to get a kill or two, or if it gets them priority over Grubs, because when I look at Pantheon and I look at Rise, you know, even Mbessa, right? You have so much side lane pressure later on in the game. Grubs can actually be a win condition for you in terms of being able to split push later on if you don't feel like you ever want to engage into these wombo combos. You need to do something with these level 6 power spikes that you're going to hit. If you're not able to get gold off of that first Grand Starfall, off of that first Realm Warp, this game's going to look a lot more difficult because that is the exact timer that they've basically built their entire draft around.
That'll be an interesting thing to track, especially because it's so... what's the word I'm looking for? There is a word that means right now, and I don't remember what it is. It's so... it's so right now. I'll look it up in a second, but...
I would say it's pertinent. I don't know if that's the word you were looking for.
You're so beautiful. Come here. I'm going to give you a little kiss on the... Mwah.
Oh,
there we go.
Thank
that
you.
one's just for you. Pertinent. It's pertinent. And
yes.
and it is so because they've just hit level 6. At least Xiaohu managed to just hit level 6. I haven't tracked Jiejie just yet, and it looks like he's sitting at a comfortable level 5 as we get back into this game. 6 minutes in, we are about to hit that pertinent time as Creme does drop his first ult for a little bit of poke in a typical anti-trading pattern.
Yeah, it's a typical anti-trading pattern, but it's really bad for Xiaohu. We just talked about that Realm War power spike being super important, and now he's below half health. He's going to have to collect the fruit here. Hopefully he can regain a lot of that momentum, but that's not a great trade for the Rise. Even with someone like Hong in the area, you're not really able to capitalize on Annie. This is why I like this matchup so much. The lack of range on Rise can really be punished heavily.
All supports roaming over to the mid lane. This Hex Flash actually gonna matter when it comes to putting Hung between Creme, Fengyue, and Xiaohu. Tian in the area, not actually going to commit over the wall and be spotted, but his general positioning is paying out by the side of Weibo Gaming, who I will remind everyone still have a level 6 Pantheon to make a play with. This became a reality in the past minute. Realm Warp online as well. Jiejie is moving down bot side, spotted as Elk and JiaQi Love duke it out.
Oh, they're diving.
JiaQi Love pops barrier, flashes away. That is not good, but Xiaohu does show up with the Realm Warp to at least make this a 1-for-1. Support for AD carry. That's doable. That's doable.
It's something on the map. It's really not what you were looking for in this instance because you're not able to parlay it into topside pressure at all, even with this Rumble doing an okay job of, being able to push forward. So it's fine. Overall, it's great from JiaQi Love to be able to clear the wave with that bullet time, but getting another kill onto the MF, who is a big damage dealer for this comp, is a bit of a problem, and now you have to hope that you can make a play with the Alistar on the top side with potentially Zweon overextending on the Rumble.
Hung's here, and Zweon's definitely overpositioned. There's a well-timed flash from Zweon, and a respectful one, knowing that he was absolutely dead if the headbutt pull went off. You can now re-gank this lane, especially around ult timings, so keep your eyes on second Grand Starfall and second Realm War. First one actually went pretty well, all things considered. Second one can go even better.
I certainly think it kind of needs to go better. If you're using those Grand Starfalls, those Realm Warps, you need to not be losing more gold than you made. And right now, with a 2,500 gold lead for top esports, they're going to have free priority on these grubs because they are just so much stronger in the middle of the map. Again, I hate to reiterate my point so much. This is the power of Annie into Rise. People talk about Anivia and Cassiopeia as these big power counters in the mid lane. Annie is such a successful one because it really stops him and limits him at being able to even play the laning phase, step up to try and push the wave. Really, really well played here from top esports, and that's why they are sitting here with a 2,000 gold lead, and this really does feel like the TES we remember from the beginning of this play.
Trickle Void Grub picked up for them as well. That is going to be a rough thing to deal with when we talk about how quickly both of these compositions can shift a team fight, can shift a game, because it is even more punishing to lose one as Weibo. Even if you win half the team fights, you're going to be losing so much more for each one that you do fall. Zweon, despite burning his flash earlier, still really comfortable up in this top side, and does a great job to position himself outside of turret range. Flash from Jiejie, still going to be punishing though, as Zweon, flashless himself, has no backup coming, but a teleport is going to take him right out. Another alcove play.
Zweon is the king of the alcove in this game. He just keeps surviving, keeps escaping, and these are the plays that Weibo Gaming are putting everything into. I mean, that's Jiejie ult on the bot side that's traded for a kill. That's flash topside from this Pantheon that's turned into just a teleport out from the Rumble. These are the plays that have to go right for a comp that is spiking right now, and they are still sitting here at a gold deficit. JiaQi Love going to continue to be able to push out this lane, which has gone exceptionally well for top esports. With Dragon spawning in 40 seconds, we're now sitting at a spot where TES have full control. As long as JiaQi Love doesn't screw up here.
We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. It was like 3 seconds off cool. No, like, literally, I was watching the cooldown at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I'm seeing more pings go down on bot side. JiaQi Love's dead, bro. And JiaQi Love is, in fact, dead, bro.
Yeah, definitely, not an AD carry player myself, but I would be a little bit tilted if I saw my Nautilus backing as I'm trying to shove out the wave with Pantheon on the map. But it is what it is. Everybody can, have their ups and downs. Bloodthirster completed for JiaQi. That's going to matter a lot for a fight around this dragon. Tien's going to have full control over the area, even with the kill going down onto the bottom side. It's just so hard for them to have pressure, again, because of that Annie in the mid lane. So Jiejie, once again, having to cede control over a major objective and basically watch as the power spike gets completely neutralized by this TES team.
Rod of Age is surely going to be completed soon, so hopefully third, maybe even Soul Dragon becomes contestable. You are going to have to contest it at some point, but there's no rush to do it. You can't afford to give up the first 2 dragons. It does just make Top Esports, again, in a little bit more of a comfortable position when it comes to how much they can get off of team fight wins. If you win a team fight and get a tower, sure, that's great. If you win a team fight and get 1.5 because you have Void Grubs, that's even better. If you win a team fight and you get 1.5 towers plus a soul, that's incredible. And what Weibo Gaming are doing, that's fine. They've still got a certain chance to win the game, but it gets awkward when we think about what they can give up in the mid game. Flash away from Hung as well, backing on Vision. It's tough, but that's League of Legends.
It's just another greedy play that does not need to happen here. You don't need to burn Flash in this exchange, and now Elk is in danger under the tower. Look like they're going to full commit to this dive. Even with Tien making his way down, this would be very, very risky with the wave already thinned. Looks like they're just gonna say, no thanks, Jiejie's in the area, we're not gonna risk anything, but this is the problem. This is the problem, I think, with Weibo's comp, right? When you talk about the thing that they run into, so we get a little bit of dueling in the mid lane. I think Xiaohu should be fine here, but he's certainly trying to shove the wave out, losing a lot of his health bar for
cannon.
it.
The way
he really did.
Microing Tibbers was actually so insulting.
Oh, and he's gonna try and stop the back here. Oh no, he's gonna be successful as well. So just the ultimate troll for Creme in the mid lane here with the Annie continuing to waste time on this rise. And it just goes to even further my point. Like, this is not a game where Weibo feel better about it going later. If you're going to be taking these dragons and getting objectives stacking for Top Esports, that's just going to make it harder for Weibo to avoid these big skirmishes in the later part of the game. These big wombo combos that Annie, Vi, Nautilus can set up for the Rumble and the Misfortune. You're basically forcing them into a spot where they have to engage with you. And that's really only going to favor TES the longer we go here.
The person who's got to turn that around is Zika, who we talked about with Mbessa. Yes, we've still got big power carries like Xiaohu and Elk that we can look forward to things from. But when you talk about a champion that can really reverse the course of a team fight, Zika's got a lot to deal with, especially when we consider that Tien is in the game. But these public executions have to be on point and well-timed to not be immediately shut down and punished by the aggressive jungler of Top Esports.
Yeah, it's a small race here for first turret, which is going to be won by Top Esports. That's even more gold going into their pocket. Unfortunately, Weibo committing a lot to this play to try and take down the Rumble. But you're right, it's clear that Weibo see it very similarly to how you do, Dia. This Mbessa is being prioritized very heavily onto the top side, even at the expense of some gold onto Rise here. Equalizer's just going to get dropped. This is a very, very risky side lane play for Weibo, who are losing a lot of vision tempo onto the bottom side of the map. And just look at what Creme's doing. I mean, he's getting Grand Starfall right now, but he's pushing in the wave. I mean, it's basically at tier 2. They've dropped so much gold for that play.
That is more map presence removed from the Pantheon as well. I mean, somebody had to answer bot wave, but to have Jiejie commit such a powerful playmaking tool at this critical juncture in the game does remove even more options from Weibo, as we've got 13 seconds left until Rift Herald, just over a minute 30 left till Dragon.
Yeah, minute 30 left till Dragon. I think that's going to be the priority. We'll see if they really want to go for Rift Herald. We've seen that objective become a little bit less popular as of late, with teams realizing that it's just a little bit more difficult to really punish it. But looks like Weibo want to take what they can get, and that means they're starting up Herald. How much do you want to commit if you're Top Esports in this area? If it were me, I certainly wouldn't be backing away from a fight right now.
Tien's in the area. We've got teleport available on Zhueon and a ward in the pit. Starts channeling it just now. Both top laners going to commit. Well, it's a smite fight for the Rift Herald. One that Tien wins. Picking up the Eye of the Herald. Zhueon's cooking the back line while Zika commits onto JiaQi. It is an Ambessa alone in the back line, and even so, Zika can get nothing done. JiaQi just below half HP, as now he gets to walk on forward, collecting the first kill with the help of Creme onto Hong as Zika re-enters the fight, attempting to assassinate JiaQi once again before being cut down with Zweon cooking the back line of Weibo. Top Esports get the Rift Herald and so much more. 15 minutes into the game, it is 3-0 in the favor of Top, with a mid lane tower soon to fall.
It's a nightmare for Weibo. They try to get onto JiaQi earlier, at least Zika does with that ultimate, but TES are so calm, cool, and collected, being able to say, hey, we don't care about the engage, we're gonna get you off of our AD carry, and we're gonna be just fine. The fact that TN gets this smite is just icing on top of the cake. It ends up just being a 50-50, unfortunately getting down to 100, and TN being able to pick it up. I believe Zweon is actually the one who picks up the Herald as well, so even extra gold into the pocket of Rumble, but look at the separation here. Alistar has no way to find his way into the back end of this fight, and so the Ambessa is left completely isolated, and now with Dragon on the map to get another one.
Bullet time being channeled into Jiejie's face. He manages to tank it up. It is again a story of Zika in the back line, but this time JiaQi will fall. The question is now, how much does it cost Weibo as another 3 players fall? Zika, Xiaohu, and Elk giving up their lives, take on JiaQi, but still lose the Dragon.
All that for a drop of blood. I think that's the best way I can put it, is it just feels like Weibo finally feel like they can find an engage. Hung gets a 3-man knockup to interrupt the bullet time. That looks pretty good in that fight, but they have no damage at this point. They've gone past their power spike. If you're not utilizing these macro ultimates to be able to get numbers advantages across the map, it's not gonna work. You don't have the power. JiaQi didn't even use bullet time in the previous fight, so he has it here. He just rips it at the start of the fight, realizing there are plenty of ways to interrupt him. The 3-man knockup looks good, but the damage has been done. We're at the point now where it's getting even scarier. You're on Soul Point now for Top Esports looking into the future. That's another fight that they can force in a small, confined area where Equalizer and Bullet Time are going to be a big problem. And Weibo's comp doesn't get more damage as the game continues to go along. They need to make a play now.
Once again, JiaQi the focus. Survives a long time, but Weibo Gaming, they are locked in on their win condition. Take out the misfortune and make something happen from there. This time, finally, it does not cost Weibo Gaming their lives, and it will be they who manage to win in the mid lane. Top lane, we do have a Rift Herald dropped by Zweon, so this will be answered. It will be punished pretty heavily by Top Esports, as you could even get another crash here.
Yeah, I mean, this Rift Herald's going to get a lot of value, specifically because now you're looking at a massive lead on the top side for this Rumble. We talk about these close quarters fights being what Top Esports are looking for. That gets even scarier if this Rumble gets accelerated in terms of gold. Those equalizers are going to immediately make those fights impossible. Unfortunately, the driving disaster class from Zweon is on display here. We're going to have to revoke his license on the Rumble, but he is still going to get quite a lot with that that top lane tower, and you really only traded a couple of plates in the mid lane. JiaQi didn't even have a bounty, so overall still a gold positive play for TES, even if it feels like Weibo are starting to pull something back.
19 minutes in, means we got Baron coming up soon. Yet another objective that Top Esports can take should they win a fight. Something they've been doing more often than not, but Weibo definitely locked in on punishing JiaQi, and the splash is about to come up. As Tien picks the fight 1v2, public execution is going to come in, and this should be him going down. Creme's shown up though, and a Realm Warp to try and finish off this fight could go very poorly indeed, as Tibbers gets dropped right on top of him. I think we can call a spade here. That was an overextension and a pretty grievous one.
Xiaohu just hoping and praying like, hey, I see the blinking red light. I see TN on death's door. I have to be able to pick up this kill. I have to be able to get some gold back into my pocket. He's like, I'll just Realm Warp in, kill the Vi, I'll get out real quick. Realm Warps in, sees 5 members of the enemy team there, and realizes how much danger he's absolutely in. So TES just feel like they're running the map. Their macro this game has been exceptional, and this is the Top Esports that we were looking for. This is the version of them that we were seeing at the beginning of the split. They have clearly rebounded well from some of their losses earlier this week and been able to get their head back on their shoulders, because this is a bit of a masterclass right now with almost a 6,000 gold lead.
And a lot of that, to be honest, coming from the positioning of everyone in team fights. I think Zweon has been really on it, but Tien has also been quite good in his team fight positioning, and I'm going to throw some love Fengyue's way as well. I know that we, mentioned some missteps that he had around the mid lane that, or not mid lane, mid game, that meant that JiaQi Love ended up dying to the first couple of Grand Starfalls, but in general, the Nautilus has been well positioned to make Zika's life quite difficult when trying to get on top of JiaQi Love, to peel Jiejie and Elk away from JiaQi Love in these mid-game skirmishes. I'm really liking the Nautilus out of Fengyue, and it's a pick that I'd like to keep my eyes on.
Absolutely. I mean, Nautilus is a very feast or famine pick in this meta because you either are able to, go forward and really be able to push the tempo and play along those wombo combos, or you're just kind of walking up and dying in a lot of fights. And luckily for Fengyue, he's been able to be the one setting the tempo of this game. We've definitely had some questions about whether this bot lane was going to be as synergistic as maybe you would want for a bot lane with JiaQi Love in it. A lot of those questions were answered at the beginning of the split. It's good to see that continue here. As Fengyue is trying to get some vision coverage. Dragon in 30 seconds. This is Soul for top esports. If they get Infernal Soul, you can basically put the fries in the bag. This game one's going to be over.
Towards top lane, Xiaohu just about to get Realm Warp off cooldown. Has teleport as well. There's plenty of global and semi-global mobility for him, but top lane he is nonetheless. And top esports, recognizing that, are going to get full control of this river. A single ward giving Weibo all the information they need as to whether Dragon has been started or not.
How do you walk into this? If you walk into Creme, you are instantly dead with that Annie combo. You have to be so careful, even if you're a tank here, but Dragon has started. They have to fight now.
Teleport coming in from Xiaohu. And Hong's gonna have to start a fight, if anyone. Keep your eyes on JiaQi Love as well, as Hong does flash forth to pulverize onto him, but JiaQi Love flashes away from the public execution as the dragon burns down. It's a 2.7, but Tien's got eyes only for Elk, who he eviscerates from the rift with the help of Creme. Realm Warp not even gonna go off in time as Xiaohu is slowed up by JiaQi Love and collapsed on by every member of top esports. You got a dragon. What is it you said? All that for a drop of blood? All that for a dragon. 5 kills deep. Top esports get Baron and anything else they want.
If the game wasn't sealed before Dia, I think that might have just done it. Top esports, again, just realizing, hey, what if we just forced a fight around Dragon? You get the Grand Starfall onto the backline, but you're absolutely right. This flash from JiaQi Love is beautiful. Tien, separated a little bit here, has to be a bit more aggressive than maybe he would want to be, but look at the positioning of Elk, who is just completely disconnected from all of his tanks. He basically sacrifices his life in order to get that Dragon, which is certainly not a trade that you would want in these fights. Doesn't really matter that they don't get Soul. They get so much off of that, Baron especially being such a pivotal piece for TES to be able to gain even more gold, push the game forward even more. And I just don't really know what the avenue back in is for Weibo Gaming. You can't really win these team fights. You need to be able to play the map, and that's getting harder and harder in terms of finding picks because of just the lack of vision you're able to have.
Now, as much as we find the phrase cliche, dressed in purple, top esports get to take what they like for the next 3 or so minutes of the game. Grouped up as 4 in the top lane. What they like is going to be the tier 2 tower over there, the last remaining one for Weibo. And now the base is Tien on a solo mission. Gets to usher in the mid-wave. Teleport flank though from Weibo. This is their all or nothing play, and Tien spots it out immediately. Zika pushed all the way back. And Weibo go for the Hail Mary and don't even finish the prayer.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly a Hail Mary. You're absolutely right. They were trying to get onto the back line. It's going to have to be a front to back, which does not favor Weibo.
JiaQi Love, no flash. We've seen that be punished before.
Yeah, should be fine here as they end up just backing out. Looks like it's going to be all okay. TES are going to continue to push forward. Unfortunately, they used a lot of resources there for the fight. They should still be able to win anyways, but it's all going to be about whether or not Weibo make a game-losing mistake. Realm Warp coming in the backside here.
And it's Hong that shows up. CC's JiaQi Love, but Zika is never able to channel public execution because Tien is beating the ever-loving beans out of him on the side of the fight. JiaQi Love is untouched picking up a triple, and Tian takes the double to complete an ace. Top Esports, they know exactly what Weibo want to do and make it their business to deny it. The team fight, the game, 3 dragons, both of the top side objectives, and now even the Nexus fall in the favor of Top Esports. That was, how you say, masterclass in League of Legends. Top Esports did not even let Weibo stand a chance from that breakout point that you mentioned, that big team fight that really sent everything Top's way.
Masterclass is a good way to put it. This was domination from start to finish. When you draft a comp that relies so much on being able to find those wombo combos, you better be able to find them, and boy, did they. I mean, those bullet times were great. Those equalizers were great. Everything was great. Macro was great from Top Esports. Really nothing to complain about. Maybe you want to see them finish the game a little cleaner. You know, they push one lane at the end of the game when maybe you want to see them split their resources. I mean, we're absolutely, you know, drawing blanks there if we're looking for problems. I think with Top Esports in game number 1, this is exactly the version of them that we saw for a majority of the regular season, and I'm just so glad to see that they're back.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, we can really nitpick. We can say, well, you know, a world's winning team at the top of their game may have finished that a little bit differently, but even then, I mean, that team fight was so absurdly clean. You got a Realm Warp channeled in your backline, an express delivered Alistar, and Top Esports, they don't even look shaken, let alone stirred. They turn things around in the cleanest way possible by just denying everything that Weibo wanted to set up. Sure, you can Realm Warp into my backline if you want. Is the rest of you touching my backline? In no way. And again, man, does it feel weird as a broadcaster, as a commentator, as a storyteller of the league to be coming back to this and going, who do we highlight today? How are we doing this? But I'm finishing this game and going, man, Tian's just him. We come into this game, we want to talk about anybody but him, and I'm sure that you've got good news stories from the rest of the Rift. But I'm looking at this game, and Tian was the guy.
Absolutely. I mean, Tien was on fire here today. He absolutely outplayed Jiejie in game number 1. The Vi ultimates were on point, and generally the map awareness and the map pressure was just better for TES, which should be impossible when you have Realm Warp and Grand Starfall and all of these abilities on the other side. You shouldn't be losing in a side lane with those, but Tien was making more plays. He was more aggressive, and that's what really made the difference. I think having that mid lane priority was essential, was pertinent towards the success here of Top Esports. And, you know, that's where I want to give a big shout out to my boy Creme. I know that, you know, people are lower on him. I know that people don't believe like I do, but I am a Creme believer. I am somebody that has seen the light in terms of him being one of the best players in the LPL, potentially one of the best mid laners in the world on a good day. We saw so many setups here. Overall, just Top Esports playing perfectly. Tien utilizing that mid lane pressure, moving around the map and, you know, getting the kills in side lanes, understanding that he has the ability to roam because of that lane dominance. And again, the rest of the team utilizing that gold to just win every fight with the Wombos.
Worth noting as well as we think about the future of this series that I was excited, rightfully so, about Zika getting to play at his Ambessa. This was, in theory, a game, a pick that should be going really well. You saw him be on the right wavelength when it came to taking out JiaQi Love. And credit to Top Esports for denying that every single time. But now you enter the game 2 issue of we struggle to blind for our top laner, and we've managed to pick up an Ambessa, one of his most generically powerful picks, and we didn't win that game. Something that I mean, I don't think is getting a lot better when we approach game 2.
The question becomes, do you want to put on the chef's hat, or do you just want to leave your regular cap on? Because that's really, you know, there are 2 choices here. You can go in the Sion, Ornn, you know, Cassante direction, or you can say, all right, might be Olaf angle, might be Yorick angle, might be something more aggressive, right? That's really, you know, what I'm going to be looking at. Do they want to play more for topside, or do they feel they need to salvage bot lane a little bit more consistently? Either way, they need to get pressure somewhere on the map. Again, we talked about this so much, so extensively in the pre-show. Weibo are not a team that can function when they are not winning. They are just not comfortable in that spot, And they were not winning at all in this game, despite having a comp that could do a lot in the mid game. It doesn't really matter where your power spike is if you don't have the gold to be able to utilize that power spike. I want to see that power shifted a little bit earlier. Even if it's not a pick comp or a side lane comp, I want to see something that's a bit more straightforward to be able to get you leads so that this team feels more comfortable getting vision and playing the map in the mid game.
And I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'm checking with you when I say this. When I think of straightforward, when I think of a winning combination for Weibo Gaming, I'm thinking priority mid so that you've got priority in the jungle, and all right. I mean, I'm not mad about it. Tien was him, but Fengyue, we did praise in the middle of the game for being really well positioned on Nautilus. I don't mind a Fengyue MVP, and I will be honest with you, this might be my bad. Kman, supports tend to get a whole lot more MVPs when I'm on this broadcast. I don't know why, but like, I think I've been on 2 broadcasts where supports don't get MVPs. It's
just
real.
It's fate. Yeah, no, it's the vibes you bring